G'day YouTube, back in the greenhouse again, and so I thought I'd do a video on probably my favourite Nepenthes species, which is veitchii, which I think everybody knows, everybody wants. These beautiful squat striped pictures, and yeah, I thought I'd give you a walk through the greenhouse, show the different ones I'm growing, we'll chat about the care a bit, and the differences in different veitchii. So this here is my favourite veitchii in the collection, veitchii M from Exotica Plants. You'll see it's just covered in pictures. There's some old ones in here. I do see a lot of people cut these off as they start to go brown. Personally, I like to leave them on because there's still active, you know, juices and bugs and insects built up down the bottom of that, so the plant will still receive nutrients as long as that picture is still active. Once it completely browns off to the tendril, it's serving no more use to the plant then, so that's when I tend to cut them off. It's not the prettiest thing to look at, but for the long-term health of the plant, I think it's better. Sure, a plant like this where it's got multiple good healthy pictures, you probably could get away with cutting off the old ones that wouldn't really notice, and it doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes I will just go around the greenhouse doing a big clean up, and something like this, I might remove that. I'll probably leave this one for a while longer. There's another one around the back here. Yeah, that might come off soon. You can also, you know, that tends to be where I'll feed them to. I'll throw an Osmocote pellet or two in each of these as they start to die back. Maybe a few insects, just to give it that final boost and let the plant get the most out of each picture that it can. Alright, well, let's have a look at some of the plants. So you see a nice new picture coming there. I've actually noticed through here that through the warmer months in summer, we're midwinter now, but the greenhouse has been quite warm. It's been very sunny outside, but the picture colour seems to be this more of a green to yellow colour, whereas once it cools down, I start getting more red in the pictures, particularly when they're freshly opened. I see this one here. With the extra warmth in the sun, it does seem to fade out fairly quickly. But if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see some photos of this when it's freshly opened, and the picture's just absolutely stunning. I know there are some other ones out there that do seem to have a much redder body and keep it throughout the lifespan of the picture, and even throughout the different seasons of the year. I think the most exciting thing about this at the moment is we've got a second male flower coming. I've knocked the tip of the tendril off here. That's right, I don't think I would have got a picture on that leaf due to the flower anyway. It did flower earlier this year. In fact, I only just cut this off a month or two ago, and I've already started making some great hybrids with it. So hopefully we'll have plenty of offspring from this in future years. You can see up here, it's got a few nice healthy basils. This is actually a basil growth here that just drops down. For some reason, they like to hang right directly under the pots, so I can never put this down anywhere, which is a little bit annoying. But I thought I'd bring them up and hang them up so you can see them. There's a few old leaves on there that yeah, got a bit banged up and damaged, but another nice basil picture there. Yeah, absolutely stunning peristome on this. I can't wait to see what the offspring looks like. My other Barrio form I will touch on the lowland through to highland veitchii. This is BE3734 from Borneo Exotics. Nice new basil picture there. A big second growth point there. And it's just coming down through here. That picture's probably about ready to go. That one back there. We've got just these great squat pictures. I think this one was shaded out, didn't colour up too nicely. But if I can get back here, that's a newer picture. I'll try and get it out. I think that one was on my Instagram as well. Some more pictures there. An older one. And it's, where I've put it, it's a bit hard to rotate it, but here we go. Again, it's in a net pot. Personally, I'm moving away from the net pot, so I don't have a watering system in here yet. So the net pots, I tend to be watering these almost daily, and that's even for veitchii, which they do like it on the drier side. There's some more. The peristome with the bright light, they do sort of bronze up over time. And there's some sphagnum falling out of the pot. I did try topping this, or top dressing it with live sphagnum when I repotted it, but it's too dry for the sphagnum to grow. I don't think you can see the mix, but it is in a quite a chunky cocoa peat. Let's see, I'll dig a bit out here for you. Oh, sorry, not cocoa peat, cocoa chips, and a lot of perlite. As I said, they like the area, chunkier, drier mix, and I found that works better for all veitchii. We'll start here. This is a nice little seed grown one from Malawi Basin. The stunning candy stripes on it. A much taller picture than the barrio forms. Now, I do find these really slow down in winter. I do have some heating in the greenhouse, but the cold nights, which I have to keep my my highlanders happy, these are not loving. They've really slowed down. I feel although I'm getting two nice new pictures coming at once here on this particular one. Yeah, still a stunning plant. You can see it's got a few old pictures half dying back. Again, cocoa chips and perlite. Obviously this one's not in a net pot. Next to that is I think it's a bower lowlands. Yeah, bower lowlands from Malaysiana Tropicals, which gets a beautiful red picture body. Although this one's starting to age out and fade a bit now. And just a huge golden peristome on it. Got a little bit burnt from something. This one has not really done much in the last 2 months. But once summer hits, it should explode back. I'm going to swap it out of the net pot when I get around to repotting. Anyway, you will notice that the lowland forms tend to be longer pictured, quite tall in comparison to the barrio. It's a much more squat body, and the leaves seem to be narrower. That's probably not a great example. You see there, and in comparison, just these really wide, big leaves. And we got Veitchii K Cross M, which just has some of the best, probably the best coloured picture body in my collection. It's not the most squat, I'm not 100% sure of what EP used to make veitchii K, but I think it was a taller, possibly lowland veitchii. So this should be a good intermediate grower. Sorry about the noise if it's been raining here today and banging on the greenhouse. If it's too bad when I rewatch this, I might have to reshoot the video, but we'll see how it goes. It's got a nice new picture coming there. Looks like it should be my best one yet. Got some crappy moss growing in here. I think this might still be in a sphagnum mix from when I first got it, or maybe it was some live sphagnum that didn't really take on top. You can see down here everything else. The live sphagnum does do well in here and a lot of other stuff. And then in the middle here is a sort of just a greenhouse display I put together using some older seed growing Malawi Basin that I grew. I think these were sown in 2009. Oh, sorry, 2019. This smaller one on top, you can see that's actually a basil growth. And the main growth was back in here, which also flowered for me. Unfortunately, both my veitchii that are flowering are both male, so I can't cross them myself, but I have sent them to friends with females. So hopefully I'll have a couple of options of my own horticultural veitchii seed shortly. This is just a nice gold peristome Malawi Basin. And those taller, slimmer body pitchers. And when this first opens, the peristome's huge, but it hasn't done much for me since it cooled down, including the flower. It would have slowed it down as well, but this one is definitely well overdue for a repot. You can see the sphagnum in there start to break down, getting a bit nasty. Now it's done with the flower, I'll probably repot this soon and possibly take some cuttings to clean it up. The most exciting thing I've got going in here at the moment is the sibling to this one above. Just sown. It's probably, the pot's probably a bit big for it realistically. We're seeing quite a dry cocoa chip and heavy perlite mix. I've had to tie it up to get it initially standing up because it was drooped over and it was tied to hangers, but it looks like I'm finally starting to get it to climb. And this is just a piece of PVC plumbing pipe that I just wrapped a cork placemat around. It's not quite holding on. There's no real hooks or anything. I haven't seen them in the wild myself growing like this. If someone has, you can let me know how they really hold on. I'm assuming it's actually just friction as they wrap around, and you'll see the photos. The tendrils as it really secures itself. The pitchers will grow hard up against here and secure it to a tree in nature, but in my case a piece of pipe and cork. So these are more of a lowland veitchii, I think. They definitely, for me, perform better in summer and have slowed right down in winter. I may actually try moving this one outside once it warms up, maybe lean it against a tree and see if I can get the really natural wild growth on it. But I do find veitchii, at least for myself, I think it's a great species for beginners. If you wanted to get into growing something amazing, they're very forgiving as long as you don't keep them too wet. They may slow down. Even my barrios, I know they're called highland veitchii, but I don't think their elevations are quite as high as some of the true highlanders, like you know, maybe Lowland or Rajah, anything like that, that really needs that big temperature drop to keep them happy. So yeah, I think ideally, if any really household temperatures should be fine for these. If you keep the humidity up a little bit, even then, humidity, they're such hairy plants, they'll pick up anything, and they'll grow in, I mean, they'll grow in lower humidity settings quite comfortably. My greenhouse is at 80% humidity all the time. Due to the amount of seeds and cuttings I have in here, I tend to keep it higher than usual. As you can see here, I've got some more female spikes. This one, the big one here, is Lowland veitchii, which I'm very excited about. Let's see if I can show you. So I'm definitely going to put some veitchii M pollen on that. And the second one is Spectabilis cross platykyla, which I think I put veitchii M on here. I'd have to check my notes, but again, could be very exciting. One thing I have picked up is that veitchii do seem to enjoy quite a lot of light. Like, you'll see, usually hang along the front here. I've shuffled these things around, trying to make it easier for me to show the different plants in different forms, but usually my big veitchii are hanging in here with these ones. They've got the 300 watt grow lights there, but they've also got tons of sunlight. There is a few trees on that side that block a little bit, and a tree above, but they do get a lot of direct sun straight through the greenhouse, hanging here. And for me, I think without good light, they don't seem to picture well for me. The pictures will be smaller, definitely less colourful, less stripes. But they will acclimatise. You will get pictures and growth. I did have some nice pictures on this in my previous greenhouse where everything was blocking each other from the light. So I think that all those previous pictures will be gone now. Yeah, bright light. If you've been growing it in lower light conditions, you may need to acclimatise it slowly. You can see I do get a little bit of red tinge there on the leaves from the grow lights. Also, due to the high humidity here, and the fogger actually blasts directly over these, which by choice, so probably resetting up my greenhouse, I may not have that the case. So I do get a little bit of sooty mold through the hairy stem here, as they just pick up everything. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and any questions you may have on veitchii or anything else, feel free to let me know. And if you do, hit the subscribe button, and it'll keep me making videos like this and anything else you want to see. I'll go back, have one last look at the peristome on this, because it's just amazing. And hopefully some more exciting hybrids and pure seeds for this, for me to grow out, and in a few years we'll see what I can create. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.